Hello, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here. It's absolutely stunning to see Web3 and crypto world moving in Hong Kong. And it's a real privilege to talk about art. And knowing that Art Basel is happening next door, I'm really excited to share this project with you. Just to introduce myself shortly, I'm a curator who is specialized in digital art. I have a background in art history and cyber media studies. And I realized that how important not only critically reflect this technological development of our society, but actually use the new cutting-edge technologies and combine that with art in order to reflect our zeitgeist the most powerful way and create impact in our society. So I am working with Bernar Venet, who is a world-famous conceptual artist, mostly known by his huge-scale sculptures. And we looked into his conceptual past, going back to the 60s, and we decided to create his first generative art collection in collaboration with Sotheby's. Sotheby's is one of the greatest and most progressive auction houses of today, and you are welcome to see some of the artworks outside in the middle of the summit. We created a contemporary art lounge, and we invite you there. We can also have a conversation later on there to look closer to the digital artworks, which are going to be launched end of June. Empowered by ArtBlocks engine, and these 500 unique pieces of generative art is going to be minted on Ethereum. And I would like to introduce you a little bit the history, how traditional art world is merging with new way of technologies such as blockchain and algorithmic art into something really new and changing the way we look at art and changing the way we collect, we share and we represent art, and also changing how people are connecting to each other through art. So this is just one of the output I put here to begin with, to give you the sense of aesthetic. And just before I go into the history of art, I would like to show you this video, which gives you a little sense how we connect the algorithmic reality with the very physical practice of Bernar Venet. So just to connecting back to the previous super inspiring panel discussion, Stefan said there is a major disruption to the art world through new technologies. And this can be also understand one of the trend-setting case study to look into how traditional art, especially conceptual art, is actually shown the way how generative art is made, perceived, and distributed today. So introducing the artist Bernar Venet, who is coming originally from France, but became very much important and major player on the neo-avant-garde in New York. He already started to work with sort of analog generative practice. Basically, trying to expand the notion of art, the notion of sculptures by creating environments and situations taken from real life events. Namely, if we look into the charcoal pile piece from 1963, that he created a sculpture piling up charcoal and saying that and stating that the sculpture can be done by anybody, anywhere, in any form, meaning that the sculpture can exist parallel at the same time at different places and that was a very radical act. And these kind of gestures we call in art conceptual art. And these kind of gestures are very much parallel how people are thinking when they are creating generative art today. So kind of the artwork is not a solid time and space-based entity, but it's actually dynamic and changing through certain social interaction and during the course of time. And this artist is not only significant because bringing into new definitions to art, but he's one of the pioneers who first merged art, technology, and mathematics, which has also happened back in the 60s, so namely in 1966 when he started to work with mathematical diagrams, and he brought into the language of science into art. I'm just showing, different variations of the chuckle pile, which has been a radical act back in the 60s, an analog generative practice, and then we are going very quickly to see how it's actually unfolding and coming together with technology, with algorithms today. The other important aspect in terms of the practice of Bernar Venet, how he's approaching technology and information already back in the 60s, when there was no words about blockchain or decentralized finances, but there was already a certain sensation of this race of information society. So basically what he did as a performative act, he was invited to an exhibition to the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and he brought in a TV, and the idea of the artwork was to switch on the TV whenever there is a podcast about the stock exchange. So basically, he brought in a live podcast TV as a work of art into the exhibition space. The sad part of the story that it was so alien for the art context that basically the curatorial team, they just missed switching on the TV, so the artwork could not really manifest in the space. We remember this sort of scandal, and we remember that from a very different perspective today. So working with young artists, we realized the importance and the radical act of Bernar Venet, and in the frame of his retrospective in 2021 in Berlin, which was taking place at the Tempelhof, the former airport, we created a small little exhibition inviting very contemporary blockchain artists to bring in their work and to share how they understand new kind of economical models, how do they understand value distribution and the disruption of current systems based on and inspired by Bernar Venet's early works from the 60s. So this is a certain framework or the ecology where we bring in an artist who is actually very well known in the traditional art space by creating objects, and he has this incredible market, but this aspect of his practice of being very radical and conceptual has been hidden until there is this new generation of crypto and generative artists who are understanding the idea, the concept being much more stronger and much more meaningful than the objects themselves. So this is the important aspect of the artist, of working with chance and probability before immersing himself into technology in the past few years. So chance and probability is somehow essential in coding to add a certain randomized complement to generative art creation. So he got to this idea in 1996 when he was just basically standing or laying bars to the wall and pushed them, and the way the bars were falling, that was the work of art. So basically he brought sculptures to the performative level, and one single sculpture had infinite forms of existence depending how they fall and eventually leave mark on the wall. And I'm bringing in all these aspects of his artistic practice just to see how we complied, how we worked together with the creative coding team of Ryan O'Connor and River Davis to really create an artwork, an algorithm which is best reflecting the idea and the artist's way of thinking and creating situations and engaging chance and probability. Yeah, just running in time, I also wanted to show you some of those random combinations which were shown all around the world. Basically, this one is from Versailles, France, and I would also introduce this incredible collection and foundation which is in the south of France, in Le Muy. So if you happen to make your way over there during the summer, I would recommend to visit because this collection is really outstanding to show minimal and conceptual art starting from the 50s until today. That's Place Vendôme in Paris. You can also see these random combinations. And then I'm just missing, oh yeah, my time is up. So I wanted to tell you what is really this collection about. So we have chosen one geometrical form, the angle pieces, and we looked into drawings, maquettes, installations, and in close consultation with the artist, we created an algorithm which is able to reproduce or even create certain combination that neither the artist, neither the collector, or the institution could not imagine before. And this is a very important aspect with this generative art collection called Event, that the possibilities are very different in the digital space than in the physical space. So we wanted to introduce, to show the nature of digital space through this collection. And I would like to really give you a little bit of time to pose questions because I know that it's a little bit of alien subject to the Web3 community, but I'm sure that you could have certain opinions or questions which could even bring me further in my own work. So is there any questions or comments on Bernar Venet digital art collection with Sotheby's? Okay, so it seems to be that like no questions for now, but I'm gonna be here for another 20. Oh, there is one. Okay.
So how do you work with blockchain and NFTs? I think I might have missed that. How do you take this artist and this kind of art and use blockchain technology or NFTs in today's conversation?
Okay, that's a really, really good question because this artist like 83-year-old, so how he comes to blockchain, right? So he likes to work with very young, innovative people. So we had this conversation, basically, the way we learn art history and the artistic thinking from him, he managed to learn from us the potential of generative art and blockchain technologies. And he understood he can use blockchain as a medium and he can enhance his own practice and push the boundaries of art by integrating technology, and in this case, blockchain. And this is really what is happening, that is a completely new field within his practice, and he's being a pioneer of using blockchain as a medium in the traditional art space.